Hello, everyone, and welcome to the tasting menu, Wool of Bat. We're going to do a little session 0 slash faff about session about witches who aren't in a coven. So I printed my little rules here. So this is GM-less, so I'm not the GM. But I will do some of the reading, if that's okay. Okay. In Wool of Bat, you play witches, not a coven. That would imply you work together and like each other. No, you're independent witches who happen to live in the same village and tolerate each other. The village may not be big enough for all of you, but for one reason or another, you're all here. And magic is unpredictable. I'm going to skip some stuff. This is a tabletop role-playing game for 3 to 5 players. There's 4 of us. With no need of a game master. Okay, you won't. There are no dice or cards or anything like that. Tokens. So just have a way to note tokens. Token content. So the way we start. Oh, lines and veils, as always. Or not as. We use lines and veils. I think we've gone over this enough that I'm fairly confident. Does anyone have any lines and veils they would like to reiterate or discuss with the kind of the notion that we're going to be doing a witches-esque game?
I don't like body modification things. Full polymorph is fine, though, weirdly enough.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's just for me. You guys can do it all the time. I just don't care for it.
Okay. And if anything comes up in play, when you're like, oh, that, I don't like that, just say so, and we'll X out of that.
Also, wolves and bats.
Witches. How does everyone feel about witches?
Ugh.
So that has been Wool of Bat, everyone. So, good episode.
I think we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Gotta be a record.
Okay. So, what is everyone thinking for the setting? We were talking about this very briefly pre-stream. The default setting is sort of, it's Discworld. It's Discworld-esque. So, do we want to kind of live in that space? Do we want to go, let's do modern witches, steampunk, cavemen?
I was personally kind of thinking we were probably going to do something Discworld-esque. I'm a fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witches and everything, so I don't mind a modern setting or whatever.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that was an option, so you just mentioned it, and I do perk up at it a little bit. But I think, especially for a first time, let's lean into the setting as we all know it. It's Terry Pratchett's The Discworld. Right, Discoid world.
Discoid world, flat sphere. What did you say? Sphere flats. What was it?
Flat sphere world. It just rolls right off the tongue.
Yep.
It's on the back of 4 giraffes on top of a manatee.
There you go. We don't have to. We could always just be Sabrina the Teenage Witch in Discworld, because we don't have to limit ourselves.
Very true.
For sure. Yeah.
Very true.
I mean, Lankra is pretty well spoken for, so we'll at least be somewhere else in the world, I presume.
Badass. Okay. Cool. Okay, so there's a Google Docs thingy. And it's got 3 different tabs along the bottom. So we're going to start with in the setup, because that's where the village tab is. And then we'll move on to characters and world. So, There's even a little map here. It's a cool little Google sheet. I think you all can edit it. I think I set that up. But if not, I can edit it as long as you can all see it. But
are we all using the same sheet then?
Yes, it is a communal sheet.
Okay, cool. Because I made a copy of that copy. So
oh, okay, yes.
I will go back to the one that everybody else is hanging out in.
Yeah, I also might have thought that they were individual, but I am in it, and I did add body modification. Can anyone see that or refresh and see it?
Yes, I
can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. And H3 is interacting with the sphere. So, okay, neat. I've only seen this once where multiple people were on the same documents. This is fun.
Yeah, we have in my little thing, an anonymous duck, anonymous raccoon, and anonymous Wolverine. Created by Ray Thomas.
Should actually be showing. I'm actually signed in.
Yeah, I don't
signed in too.
I don't know why it's saying anonymous, but let me see if I refresh if it changes. It did not.
Well,
what do you want away?
I'm some sort of anonymous creature.
Oh, now we have a turtle. Okay. Okay. So let's create the village. So creating, let's see, where's the village stuff? Here we go. We have to give it a name, choose 3 to 5 details, and then we choose 2 conflicts. And there is a little drop down, but it might be easier to reference the list in the PDF. And obviously, you don't have to pick. We don't have to pick these. We can make up our own because that's the fun. But did anything, any kind of name or any of the details leap out at anyone?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the spot.
It is page 14.
Okay, yeah, because it does that thing where it's like, I'm going to give you a short little summary of what this is about, and then later on, we'll tell you more in detail about it, instead of just going into detail about it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no strong feelings other than, again, what we kind of already know about kind of the Discworld's take on kind of provincial living. I did like one of the details immediately of like mysterious shrines or something like that. That just always speaks to me. So I like the idea of being somewhere maybe where the history has been forgotten, or we're built again on the ruins of, you know, we've settled somewhere that was probably previously settled by something. I don't know, that's a strong feeling, but it is a feeling.
I like some mysterious shrines.
Mysterious shrines are fun.
Okay.
That was always one of my favorite parts about wandering around in Japan, is because it's just shrines for days. Was you would just be walking down a street and suddenly a shrine. Like that. Who knows the last time somebody visited it, but it was real neat.
Okay. Let me see. Along those lines, I always like standing stones, but they kind of evoke similar aesthetics, so it might be gilding a lily.
Sure.
Or maybe they are part of the same thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, not that there also couldn't be standing stones, but do we want to kind of use that as one of our details if we can kind of encompass them into the same thing?
Yeah,
I love a standing stone.
A mysterious standing stone shrine.
That's right.
It's a lot of S's in that.
Now, what you really have to ask yourself, are the standing stones set up to keep in the shrines or the shrine setup to combat the standing stones.
Maybe they're trying to keep us in. What about that?
Oh my gosh.
The call is coming from inside the village.
If we're all sort of throwing out ideas, I really do like a good dense fog.
Okay, this hat has to come off. Sorry, hat. Dense fog. I love a dense fog. Let's put dense fog
Love a
down.
dense fog.
And I'll throw one in there since we're looking for 3 to 5. I would like some gnarled trees. Gotta have some good gnarled trees in there.
Oh, here we
These have all been on my top 5 so far, so I'm feeling very good about these.
Okay. Dense fog, shrines and standing stones, gnarled trees. What about... Oh, man. They were just horrible, muddy trails. It's just, there's fog all the time. Everybody's slopping about.
I was gonna say one of our one of the problems with the village is that there's such dense fog and all these trees and standing stones and shrines dotted around that people keep like macking into them, and many overturned apple cart.
You go past the first overturned apple cart. You pass your second overturned apple cart. You stop before you hit the third. Don't go past the third overturned apple cart.
If you hit the third apple cart, you've gone too far.
Should we be returning these apple carts? Absolutely not.
No.
How would we find our way?
Yeah, that's bad luck, first off.
Yeah.
I'm
going to put down overturned apple carts under dense fog. Overturned apple carts.
Yeah, this is starting to feel a little bit in a good way, like very much like the Sleeping Beauty kingdom. It has like a very like cursed kingdom, like Beauty and the Beast. Like it's a very robust provincial town, but they are like 2 seconds from a spooky forest, and like how are they getting any supplies? They're providing for themselves, right?
How do they have a library?
Yeah, like it goes. Yeah, it's a very. There's a lot of a once thriving kingdom, perhaps, that left an 11-year-old child home alone. So yeah, I'm like, we were never going to be too far from those, comparisons anyway, or that same source material. But yeah, I'm definitely getting a good enchanted or cursed kingdom.
I love a good
kind of vibe from this.
Yeah, I love a good dreary fairy tale.
Yeah.
Beast's parents' boats crashed into the parents' boats from Frozen.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they sunk down to Ariel's kingdom.
Yeah.
It was illegal boat racing.
Goddamn nobles.
Yeah. Underground street boating.
Underground street boating.
Should I put that under conflicts? Okay, yeah, I have a very evocative feel of our village already. So, and there's nothing to say we can't keep adding things. Carnivorous plants is also fun, especially if people keep kind of bumping into things. I'm just like, this tree eats me. Okay. Let's see. I'll kind of just note. Fishing boats is one of the options that we could pick. So I'm going to click it. Oh, that's eerie animal calls. I meant fishing boats. Okay. Okay. Do we have a name for our village and or conflicts?
Let's switch over to their suggested names just to...
Oh, yeah, I can read them. Sorry. Turkeyfoot, South Creek, Fort Gothrop, Sand Gap, Frogsboro, Blue Front, Marshy Run, Sugar Camp, malachite, and gold trench.
Oh. Might need a spookier name for our very spooky town.
I think it does need a spookier name.
Instead of Frogsboro, it could be Fogsboro.
Oh.
Boom.
I think that's
Got it in one.
That's where the Patriots play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
wrestler guy killed the other wrestler guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's from around here.
Yep. We'd always throw a mire or a brood. I think broodmire is something somewhere else already, but like bog, marsh,
Fogs, Boggo, Bogro.
fen, one of my favorite synonyms for swamp. Because gnarled trees, although orchards are very gnarled. They make very classic Halloween trees when they got no leaves on them. So it could also be some kind of spooky orchard.
Fetid orchard.
We could just be Spooky Orchard.
Well, what's in a name? I don't know what I expected.
They keep trying to rebrand as like something less
So, like,
just something less spooky. No.
No.
like the reverse of Sleepy Hollow, New York. It's like it was originally called Yorktown, but they decided because of stupid Washington Irving, it was like, no, it's called Sleepy Hollow. Like, no, it's not.
It's not right.
Funny you should mention that because I was also like, Hollow always has that association, but only because of the one book, right? Like,
Yeah.
But still.
I always like a
Hollow orchard.
holler,
Holler?
but that might be. Well, this could be very Appalachia kind of horror, or not horror, but fairy tale kind of. Lots of good folklore associated with that too.
Sure.
Um,
Holler?
I like Fogsboro, but what was the other one? Spooky Holler, aka Spooky Holler.
Spooky
The
Orchard.
orchard.
Spooky Orchard.
Spooky Orchard. Hollow Orchard. But look, first one, best one. We can go Fogsboro, and I am...
Maybe the county is Fogsboro, and we're in
Yes.
Spooky Orchard.
There we go.
There you go.
Not to embarrass you, but around these parts we call it County Fogsboro.
County Fogsboro.
Yeah.
Location, Spooky Orchard. Village. Okay. Conflicts.
All these apple carts.
Let's see.
No, those are helping. Those aren't conflict.
Right.
Okay, so the it says to pick two conflicts, and the ones listed are tension between religious groups, frivolous use of magic, more aspiring witches than experienced witches can teach, outsiders moving in, villagers leaving for better prospects, an ancient debt coming due, failing crops. What do we grow? Sadness?
Or apple carts.
And then
Spooky apples.
spooky apples, duh. Bad omens appearing around the town, like overturned apple carts.
Right. See, I kind of like the idea that no one can leave because we're kind of in a cursed thing. But I immediately ancient debt, like just to keep with this kind of cursed kingdom thing, an ancient debt coming due feels very good to me. Bad omens appearing around town feels very good to me.
Yeah, those are the two that I was kind of leaning towards, with frivolous use of magic maybe coming in a third.
It's kind of because we are basically, if we're doing the Discworld thing, first use of magic would be like us just clowning on like if we say like, oh, a bunch of wizards are moving into town because it's like Spooky Orchards, you know, #1 in Spookytons. So it's like you have all these wizards coming in casting their dumb magic spells, and then which is causing the curse to come due. So it's like, well, there you go. There's your problem.
There's your problem right there.
Yeah.
Boy magic.
Gross.
The goddamn worst.
Okay, so I think so. Let's see. So frivolous use of magic, an ancient debt coming due, and then kind of combining that with bad omens because of the frivolous use of magic.
Yeah, yeah.
And the use of magic accelerating the debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of extra like springboarding off of that idea a bit, Liz, that like if a bunch of new magicians are coming to town to investigate like this, oh wow, it's all the spheres are converging and it's going to be like they're fucking tourists.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with this. Like, you guys are just...
You're exacerbating the problem by
Yes.
being here in the first place.
That's right.
And to go back to the Sleepy Hollow thing, it's like, oh, when people show up in Sleepy Hollow around, you know, Halloween every year and try to resurrect the dead and do spooky witch stuff, and it's like, no, go home. This is someone's property.
We live here.
Goddamn tourists.
Yeah.
This is our house.
This is my backyard. Please leave.
There's also another one, because I live on Long Island, New York, so the Amityville Horror House is not too far away from me. And the people there had to, like, keep pushing people off their lawn because they would go in the dead of night and try to, like, break in.
Sure.
Just get the ghosts. To the point where the people had to completely change the house, what the house looked like, so people wouldn't notice it.
Jeez.
Also, the authors have fully acknowledged that was full of shit, right? Like, I mean, that's, like, been
In the
debunked.
70s, they were all high.
Yeah. Some great beards in that movie.
Yeah, that's what the Conjuring movies are about too, right?
I think so.
I think
Oh, right.
right, like it's the same. It's like the ghost hunter couple or something.
I think I was picturing The Craft, so it took me a minute to catch
Sure.
I don't think that was based on a real story at
Yeah,
all.
that is what the Craft's about. I don't know. There's this fast cars and witches or something. I don't know what the Craft's about.
Speedboat races.
God damn. Billionaires. Okay. Okay, I think we have a good idea of Spooky Orchard in County Foxborough. If we would like to draw on the map, I have a pretty clear image in my head of what this town is like, so I don't really think we need to try and draw on Google Sheets. But
Yeah, we've got 3 apple carts.
yep, 3 apple carts. Those are the only landmarks in town.
Is there actually, like, was there an old abandoned castle? Is there, like, no, like, is everyone in it asleep? Is that where the fog's coming from? Is there any...
like everyone in it being asleep.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, yeah, that's the...
Yeah, okay, so is there a local duke or countess or count or viscount or baron?
Yeah, I kind of, like...
Fifth thing.
I kind of like that the castle is in this perpetual state of slumber or whatever, but it's been so long that the village has just moved on.
Right, yeah, no, like, we don't want them to wake up at this point. It would actually be a bigger hassle if they woke up.
Yeah.
We're actually doing just fine on our own.
Well, and maybe that's what the debt coming due would be like
right,
undoing.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, do you guys
like,
remember Duke Jackass? He was aptly named.
Maybe, so to kind of go off of that idea, maybe is that what all of these gross boy wizards are coming in to do, is to try and, like, lift the curse or whatever?
Most certainly, yeah.
Yeah, and
we're good with it. Go ahead.
what was it? Like, they keep trying to, like, bring their nieces in and be like, this is my niece. She really loves reading books.
My niece, she loves reading books and spinning wheels. Can't get enough of them. you need someone to prick their finger, if I got the girl for you. She'll dance with an owl in a hat and cape.
Bethany Harvey, who wrote Wool of Bat, responded to us on Twitter, BRB adding spooky holler to the name options.
Amazing.
We made it. Very good.
Okay, I'm so into all of that. Okay. Now, let's start talking about characters. Oh, that's a different thing. Okay, so if you're on the sheet, down at the bottom there is a little tab for characters. If you don't see the one you want to play, there is another, again, a drop down. But I think there should only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so they should all be on there. Oh no, 4 is missing.
The researcher.
Yeah, where's 4? Oh, but if you select it from the drop down, it fills everything in for you. So
okay.
It's for 3 to 5 players, so there's 5 options. Yeah. So that's the thinking. It's a terribly dynamic sheet. Is this showing on the stream at all, or are we just looking at it?
No, I realized afterwards I didn't ask CC to include it on the stream.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's a very dynamic sheet. It's very well designed.
I will link it in.
For sure.
Well, if you buy the game, there's a link in the thing. So I'll send a link to purchasing the game. But if you do this, it's great. It really is such a nice little a tool set that is so helpful and cool, and
it's never been easier.
It's really impressive on Google Sheets or whatever, the Google Excel. Like, this is really impressive. Okay. Let's see. Oh no, I minimized the window I needed. I'm doing great. Okay. Would someone like to go first?
Did we want to run through all of the options?
Who's running this? None of us.
Nobody.
It's GM list.
It's GM list.
And all of us.
Okay, so the character playbooks are The Apprentice, your Magrat or Tiffany Aking type. Pardon me.
Agnes, right? I mean, in later books, the Maiden is what I associate that with, but I don't think that's what they go with here.
Right. The Charmer, your Nanny Og type. The Creature, which is...
Is that Grebo?
I guess it's Grebo if we're doing solely...
Right. Clearly it doesn't have to just be that.
But
I think it's the cat from Sabrina, or from... Yeah,
Sabrina,
right?
Yeah, it's Salem from Sabrina. Although when I was talking about it on the tasting menu episode, I kept saying they were like a half animal, half person. But reading this again, I don't know if that's true. I think they might just be a sentient animal or a sapient animal. I think you could play it either way. But
you could play it either way, but I think in the description it specifically says that you're half animal.
Does it? Maybe it does.
I kind of feel it gave me the impression you're either an uplifted animal or you've been converted to, which is where I think Salem kind of comes in.
Right, yeah, I think there's a lot of flexibility in this one where you could be like, oh, I was a person, I've been cursed to be an animal. I was an animal that was made a familiar or something like that, so now I'm just smarter than a regular animal. Or, like Grebo, who's an animal turned into a person occasionally, whenever they need a man.
It's the fucking worst.
Yeah, I think the implication is that you started from creature and now you're more human, so it's kind of a reverse Salem situation. But I mean, you could play it either way, I'm sure.
I'll take it either way.
Yeah, I think you could do it either way. But yeah, then we have the crone, Granny Weatherwax. The medium, who talks to spirits, and And I'm sure there is, again, another witch from Discworld, one of the kind of recurring or more minor witches, especially from, like, the Tiffany Aching books. We get a lot more. Like, who's her first?
Yeah, well, the young goths who come in
right.
and very much challenge the established powers. I'm getting a bit of that there.
And then the last one is the researcher. And they would actually probably be closest to the wizards of Discworld, it seems, where it is a little more, well, we don't actually like to do magic. We like to research magic.
And I would argue, just because there's enough other runners up for the apprentice, that I think Magrat has a bit of the researcher in her after her first kind of initial appearances, where she's just supposed to be this goofy thing. Because she's the one driving magic forward, where everyone's just kind of, just do it the old way. Just do it the old way. Put on your knickers and let's do it the old way.
Okay. So, does someone want to very quickly call dibs on one of them?
I will very purposely not call dibs on any of them. There's only one I don't want, so I can see any of you crushing it at several of these. So,
when I was reading over them earlier, I was kind of leaning more towards the medium, second choice, kind of the charmer. So I've got kind of ideas in both of those.
Liz, are your top two medium and charmer?
No, mine were medium, and I wanted to say the creature.
Okay.
But I will defer to you, Soup.
Oh, I mean, I can go either way, so I can say my ideas for each of them, and then if you're like, well, that sounds rad, so I'll concede to you, then cool. If you're like, no, my idea's better, fuck you.
Sounds very much like Liz. Very much associated her with.
Been holding on to that Liz impression this whole time?
Seriously.
So my idea for the medium is because one of the, it's like, what was it? How do you communicate with the spirits? And I think one of them is they speak to me in dreams. So I was kind of thinking of like a very like narcoleptic witch that's like always falling asleep. Like randomly and getting like communicated with, like, you know, with the spirits and stuff. And then I was thinking that a couple of, because another one of the prompts for the medium is how do patrons pay you? And so I was thinking like, well, okay, so she's always falling asleep, like how they could pay her is like, I like the idea of like they bring her food because she's never got, like, you can't start cooking if you're just going to fall asleep in the middle of it. Like, that's really dangerous. Or another idea that I had was, because another one is they do chores for me. So again, kind of like the same idea. She's always falling asleep, like, in the middle of the chores. So she's just got like a chore chart that you have to like fill in. So I guess both of those could kind of work within the like same idea. So that was the idea that I had for the medium. My kind of idea that I had for the charmer was I thought it was an interesting idea that they put why are people drawn to you as one of the prompts, and they pity me is one of the options. So it was kind of like thinking on that idea of like maybe it's somebody who's because another thing is like what two traits describe you, and one of them is like dramatic, and then another one is manipulative. So like maybe she's this like really over dramatic, like, oh, poor me, I couldn't bear to do it on my own, could you please help me? And is like a kind of a charmer, quote unquote, in that way. So those are my two pitches. My witch pitches.
They're really good too.
Very strong entries.
I guess I'll say my piece. So for the medium, I've been watching a lot of, not the American version, but the BBC version of Ghost.
Oh.
So I wanted to do something like that character, where it's like she just sees ghosts all the time, but you can't really tell the difference between them until they're like right up next to you. So like she's just like, oh hey, what's up? And it's like she's just saying hi to her neighbor, like, I died like last night. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, with all that dense fog, it would be really hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, so it's like she's just walking around and being like, oh, you don't want to go in there. And the ghost just starts like being like, oh, you can see me. Okay, hi. How's it going? You mind talking to my family? I'm like, and the ghost would be like, yeah. Or my character would be like, yeah, sure, I guess. And then my idea for the creature would be, since we're doing the frivolous use of magic, it's like one of the wizards showed up and then decided to try to break the curse by turning some cat into a sexy cat girl, and then ended up with this weird monstrosity.
And they just abandoned them? It's horrible. But yeah, no, that's what a wizard would do.
Yeah.
Just letting owlbears loose. Whoops, everyone. Sorry. I like both those, too.
Yeah. That's hard to pass up.
We gotta stop coming up with good ideas, Liz.
No.
Obviously.
We're basically carrying this stream.
Yeah.
No arguments.
Hard to deny.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to have to choose.
Yeah, Liz, I need to see you play this cat girl, which I think would lead me towards Soup's medium, but I wouldn't call that dictatorial at all because I'm good with it. However this breaks, I like both of those mediums a whole lot.
It does,
a whole lot.
Yeah, it does say we shouldn't double up, right?
Yeah, although oops all mediums would be fine with me. But and I genuinely like your unique take on the idea of the charmer as someone charming, like taking that the kind of more insidious route of like you're intentionally charming people, like rather than kind of the nanny og or the center of attention or the femme fatale or whatever, who's just kind of like, oh boys, do whatever. I think that's a unique reading of it that I do like the idea behind, but just the idea of you passing out every time anything happens on stream is an instant classic to me. So I like it all.
Yeah, I got the idea when I read that they pity me line. There's this web comic that I read called The Remarried Empress. That's very good. You should check it out on Webtoon if you haven't. But there's this character in it named Rashta. That she is very much that character. She's winning the emperor's affections by basically like being very, very pitiful. And it charms a lot of people, but also, a lot of people are like, this is gross. What you're doing is very gross.
Marty, you have a medium
Andy?
pitch? You want to make this harder?
Oh, I mean, medium was on my short list, but not my top. I probably would have defaulted to some version of Hroffen, some kind of very like, hey, what's everybody doing? So I'm content to lose that. I forfeit my medium pitch, unless we are going all mediums, in which case I will reappeal. But
yeah, let's follow the rules since it is our first time and try and pick one each. And then if we decide fuck it. Next time we're doing Oops All Mediums.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what do you like, Andy?
Me? Are you talking to me?
You? Yes.
You.
Yeah, you.
See another name on this stream?
Oh boy. Really, any of them I would be willing to play. Nanny Ong is my favorite character in Discworld, but I don't want to just be a pale imitation of her because I could not be. So I think Researcher or Crone.
Okay.
Because I Creature was interesting to me, but it would pretty much just be like a possum given sapiens, and it's just like, why? Like, everything is horrible, and why? It's just playing dead all the time. Just like, no. Just
please end me.
Oh, there's a meme. Hold on, there was a meme I saw recently. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I saved it real fast. This is not going to show up well, but it is a possum at a microphone, and it just says, "I want to make an announcement that I hate this," and that was it. So
that's a character.
Yeah,
that's a character right there.
But I will move him to the bottom for now, since since horrible accident Catgirl is much better.
My favorite part, it's not a horrible accident. It's very much on purpose. It's a horrible on purpose. Oh, we'll just trick this spell. It needs a young maiden to prick its finger on something? No problem. One girl coming up.
We could make one of those.
You there, stray cat. Oh, well, that didn't work. I'm off to do some other boy thing.
God, they're the worst.
Just...
Okay. Well,
junked up on magic privilege.
How long have we been doing this? 40 minutes. Okay. We may not get to play tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be in a real Canadian standoff if we continue this way, because I also can similarly pretty much find the other one I don't like is the Creature, personally. So I don't have like a angle there, and both of you immediately have a better one than I was going to come up with. So I thought there'd be more competition for Apprentice. So I like Apprentice a whole lot. But Apprentice and Crone probably are my top two.
I do think you'd kill it as a Crone, but
got a lot of old woman thoughts. Thank you for pointing it out. But yeah, like Magrat is arguably my favorite, which like I don't think she's supposed to be, but like just and I think she only gets better as it goes on. I actually really like Agnes too. I think she's a good character, but Magrat, especially early Magrat, obviously Lords and Ladies Magrat being the best Magrat. Fight me, but not too hard. But yeah, like again, if we felt we were missing a Crone, I would gladly step into the mythological archetype of Lachesis, the thread cutter. But yeah, so I like young or old. Apparently, I'm a big proponent of the Charmer, instant classic. I mean, when I ran my first game on this stream, a Nanny Og was your quest giver.
Yes,
so
she was. Never
far from my heart is a Nanny Og. So yeah, if you got a strong pitch, I'm content to hear it.
Sorry, this did not happen on stream, but Miller Time was on stream, and in a one shot I ran with Miller Time did sleep with Nanny Og. So, and she was happy to be rid of him, because I mean that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. Dude's wearing armor too heavy for his strength stat.
What a dope. Okay.
What's your Crone pitch? What do you like about a Crone?
They're just old, and they get to pretend like they know better, even though they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I. Hold on, let me flip to Crone real fast.
Sure.
I do look forward to Andy using his old witch voice if he does use the crone.
Oh boy. Yeah, I have one of those. I have more of a Nanny Ogg voice than an old witch voice, I think. Yeah, see, I don't know if I have a good pitch other than I think it sounds fun to be Granny Weatherwax.
Yeah.
Of just like no matter what, I mean, and this is just stealing from a different fantasy book series, but T.H. White's Merlin is really fun. Of just, he's living through time backwards, and he's just mean about everything. Like, when he first meets Arthur, he asks Arthur, like, do you like peaches? And Arthur's like, I love peaches. And Merlin's like, they're not in season. And it's just like, why did you ask then? Like, that's just mean. Yeah. And this is going to be, from your point of view, your last interaction with him, because you're living time backwards. So you just had to get one more in on him, and then you still served him peaches. Rude. Just rude.
Fantastic.
But no, yeah, they're just kind of old person energy that's just like, well, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to be happy about it, and then I'm probably going to have a dig at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Researcher is just, that's just kind of fun, especially from like a witch's point of view of that, that Magrat, like, well, I read that crystals are really important and helpful, and, you know, if we make the salt circle this way, I heard that it's a lot better, and it's, we never done it before, we're not doing it now. That's how you get haunted castles, Magrat.
You're too young to remember this, but...
So what I'm hearing is we're not any closer to having made a choice.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Sounds like we all have 2 good pitches each.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, The Apprentice, come on. I obviously love playing an array of young dummies. There's no surprise there. Yeah. Which almost makes me say, like, I've played enough young dummies where I don't need another. I will always take another. But I don't need another. So in that way, the crone is probably the most against type that I've played, at least on this stream. But I mean, as far as just, hey, Marty, if you fist your wish, what would it be? And it's like, the apprentice spot's open? Are you kidding me? I will slide right in there. But yeah, like you said, I don't so much have a crone pitch as it would be really fun to just reject everyone's ideas outright because I hadn't thought of it.
And then rephrase them later as if they were your own.
Rephrase them later as if they were my own. Yes, 100%. But know that that's what you will be getting into, and that's insufferable from the jump. But
well, if Apprentice is your favorite, I would just say go with Apprentice.
There we go.
There we go. We picked one.
We picked one, everybody.
I will also pick one, and I'll play the creature.
Oh,
okay. So would you rather be the medium or the charmer then, CC?
Yes.
I'd prefer to see you be the medium, by the way. I like both, but I just think the medium has so much comic potential. But that may not be the best way to play a game. I don't understand.
That ever stopped us? Yeah.
And I won't answer it, but I just think that's such a fun idea. Both of them are good ideas. I just think that one just has a lot more red cheeks and laughs immediately associated with it.
Yeah, I'll go with my medium pitch for this one. I've got that other one in my back pocket.
Okay.
That's right.
So we have medium, creature, apprentice. So that means I can be crone, charmer, or researcher.
Yeah, you got... I don't know that we made your job any easier. Those are all good. I think it would be interesting if we don't have a senior witch, which isn't to talk you off of a crone, but I do think that's interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe something has happened to the senior witch, and now we have to deal with the ancient debt coming to... Like,
Ancient debt coming to...
She maintained all the seals.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually get it. I'm increasingly excited about that.
I'll be a researcher.
Now you got this cat girl, this girl that's always falling asleep, some young buck that knows nothing about what she's doing,
and
somebody with new ideas.
Like, one of my favorite parts of the Tiffany Aching series is, spoilers, after Granny Weatherwax dies, and Nanny Og has to be like, but I'm not the crone now. And, like, has to deal with the fact that she is the crone now. And it's just like, I'm not.
Masquerade first introduces the idea of there has to be 3.
Right.
And so when Magrat has a baby, in a very classic version of Maiden, she's not that anymore, and she's not witching. So now they need a 3rd. And then later that becomes advanced when, in what is it, Carpe Jugulum, when they needed to do something to make Granny Weatherwax still interesting. It was getting real tough there. But the idea that she was going to become the... I'm going to live in a candy house in the fucking forest if I don't do something. Because we got too many witches now. Very fascinating.
Yeah, and that's sort of that
space play.
Yeah, that background threat that any of them could be Black Alice. They just start cackling to themselves. And
yeah. The minute you start cackling, you need to check yourself in. Because you're going to Black Alice real hard. Yeah, so I even, we can kind of associate, I think, with our conflict. And maybe that's even why the wizards have started showing up, is that we've lost our crone, who would have known what to do.
They're coming in
and we can have lost
territory.
Yeah, we can have lost her, we literally don't know where she is, or we can have lost her as in she passed in untimely fashion.
She wandered off into that dense fog.
And who knows what.
Some wizard came in and upturned the second apple cart.
I was about to say some stupid wizard.
Goddamn wizards.
Cast magic missile or something, but she wasn't looking. She wasn't wearing orange. I don't know.
You're supposed to have a pointy hat.
Where's your staff? Proper wizarding around here. Oh, what is...
So should we start filling out one of these sheets?
I think we should start filling out these sheets.
So who's player... Oh.
Oh, yeah, I mean... Oh, wait, am I... Oh, I'll take player 1, then.
Yeah, I just gotta...
Yeah,
I just
grab one.
did that. But...
Oh, okay, yeah. Liz, take player 2. And then... Yeah, 3, and then for CC 5 for Marty. I don't know why it skips 4, but it does.
Yeah.
I need a name.
Just gonna look at the suggested names one quick time, because there's a couple good ones in here. I got Birdie and Junie. Just to get for that Magrat feel of just your parents named you just some cute folksy bullshit. Just sticking around. They just didn't know how to spell Margaret. It's adorable.
What are the other LaFay sisters?
I'm gonna name my character Chamomile.
Good. Oh, very for sleepy time tea. Like that.
I named mine Mitzi.
I love it.
Good.
go with E-Grain.
Very strange. You only have the preset names to select.
Oh,
you have to click the little like keyboard icon, and then you can enter.
Okay.
I was going to say,
Name, yeah.
Okay, there we go. No, I think Junie is ridiculous, and I love it as a country name. We already invoked Appalachia earlier, so content to be. But it will be short for Juniper. We'll go with that.
perfect. Although, I do like Lila. I'm going to go with Lila. I changed my mind. Why did I think that would be useful? I Google searched Big Glasses Witch to see if I could find any like decent art, and no, none of them are good. Although, what the heck?
I'll have
Shit. I clicked on an image and it opened TikTok. So sorry, stream, for briefly hearing TikTok.
No.
I know.
Dare.
Okay, so now that we picked characters, what else do we have to do? We have to create characters, pick a character playbook, answer the questions except for the relationship status. Okay, so so there's a bunch of things we have to answer. So let me, if anyone would like to read theirs, if anyone's ready. Otherwise, we will quickly go through them and then we can read them aloud.
Well, what are we looking for? We're looking for our questions.
Yeah. So there's like choose 2 traits that describe you. How do you look? All of these up to PC relationships, and then we have to talk about those together.
I do have my one in another window, but now I'm similarly looking for, like, how do I get to any search term that would get me perhaps a portrait of something I might want. And I ended up just going to Magrat because, let's be honest.
Oh, I don't want to search for art. I don't want to know what's that gonna
Yeah,
pop
no,
up.
that is, you do not want that in your search history.
Yeah. And yeah, they're already locked in here. That's very helpful. Sorry for the dead silent stream. I'm picking my traits, and then I figure we can announce them. Well, the soup's the furthest ahead, and I'm just calling her out on it.
Oh, am I?
I think Liz might be further than Soup is.
Yeah, I think Liz is.
I'm picking relationships right now, or I'm picking NPCs.
Okay. Oh, see, yeah, you were off screen for me. Sorry. You're right.
Sorry.
No, hey, that's. I'm trying to think, like, what kind of apprentice? Because I don't want to just play Magrat, but I'm wondering, should I be like impulsive and reckless, or curious and reckless, or passionate and reckless, or
I'm hearing that you're going to be
clueless and
reckless.
reckless. Where are you getting that from? See, well, does one of you have to? Let me look at my questions, because does one of you have to be my mentor?
Yes,
or
I believe that is. I forgot about that. I believe that's
hilarious,
true.
because none of you are qualified. Maybe the medium. Actually, we don't know too much about your choice yet, Andy. So maybe.
Yeah. So I was just thinking. About it. And I think this is kind of what I'm going to hone in on. Researcher, because she does not like to leave her hut. Like is outside witchins for outside witches. I'm an indoor witch. I'm going to do indoor witching. Like, I got my books. They're my friends. My eyes are weak because of candlelight. That's not my fault. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. So if that is a dichotomy to your reckless, come on, let's go outside and let's witch. But also just this woman that keeps flying. It would be funny if the creature was your master, but I don't see how that works, like, lore wise.
Like, the idea that I attach myself to the first witch I met is my only story beat for that, of just kind of, well, she sure does clean herself a lot. Well, I guess being fastidious is a witch's trait.
Do you have to pick one? Because, like, oh, you have to?
Or we could say the crone was my...
That's what I was going to say, is maybe the crone was yours, and you're, like, trying to size each of us as, like, her successor.
Yeah.
Mentor. The problem is, I think you get benefits if your mentor is at the table still.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Like, I think that's kind of one of your big...
I always say she's on a, like, a internship basis, like work for hire. She freelances with all of us once a week, and then she decides, like, which person she decides is better.
Oh, shoot, every one of these broom selections is the fucking best. So, one of the things you pick is your broom, and I have my granny's, which is adorable. Ordinary, which I think is kind of, like, naturally fitting into what I think. Stolen, which is kind of funny, but not quite where I think. Or brand new. So I kind of like the idea of it's my home-ass broom, or I had to buy it because I'm a new witch, and I don't just have a... My family's not willing to lose their broom. I had to buy a new broom. We're using that. See, actually, I think it's funniest if it's new, so there we go. So I'm waiting for my second trait. I'm definitely taking Reckless, which I don't know how you called that, Sue. But...
Mystery, really.
Based on which one of you ends up being my mentor will probably be my primary trait. I will base my primary trait off of that.
I'm guessing mentor is either going to be Andy's or Soup's character, because I don't know how Mitzi's going to fare being a mentor.
Outside of a hilarious misunderstanding, I agree with you, but I am willing to do a hilarious misunderstanding. Again, you're just... I thought you were the most powerful witch. Next.
Like eating a broom when you see her.
Interesting.
Okay. And what's this doing? So yeah, just to, so for traits and look, I am Junie, short for Juniper. I chose Reckless as my second trait. My first trait is still up in the air based on which one of you fine folks is my mentor. I'm going to be gawky because I am a young girl. I am plain because I am just a village girl who has only recently discovered their aptitude for witching. I got hand-me-downs and hearts and flowers. It's really close to flames and skulls, but I think hearts and flowers is more hilarious. And I know enough actual New Age witches to be able to find that pretty naturally. And broom is new. I had to buy it. It really set me back. I started witching in the hole. Let's see, my next questions are, why do you want to be a witch, and what mundane life did you leave behind? So I don't have answers for them yet, but those are my next prompts.
Well, since I'm seem to be done, I'll go next.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of cheated a little because I'm just going to choose, like, since I'm a cat, I'm going to choose all. So it says choose 2 traits that describe you: volatile, cowardly, restless, naive, affectionate, aggressive. I'm like, yeah, all those.
Yep. Yep.
I'll take the platter.
Yeah. And I have another question is, in what way is your behavior not quite human? And it's, I eat trash. I panic when I'm indoors. I have no sense of personal space. I am awake all night and sleep all day. I hide under furniture. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I am cat. My main attribute. And broom is kind of fun because it's like, what is it? It's like chewed, salvaged. I can fly without one. I ride with a human. I kind of put chewed. It's more of a scratching post, really.
Perfect. Yes.
We gotta get some carpet on that.
And then, what is it? I have 2 questions I have to answer, which is, where are they? Yeah. I have to ask people, what do you want me to do? And, I have to, ask one of 2 questions. Do you see me as a person? Why do you wish I'd go back to my old form? All valid questions.
Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll have to figure out who our left is. So we can do that on the overlay. Okay, let's see. What do I fill out? Okay. For traits, I have obsessive and questioning. For hands, shaky. So no one can read handwriting, perhaps. Chubby face. Style is plaid and bloodstained. And, again, does not like to go outside, so maybe that's a little mysterious or unexplained. Broom cursed. I'm not getting on that thing.
Sure.
What marks have your experiments left on you? A network of fine silvery scars. And what are you studying this week? This one I was like, I'm not sure, but I picked magichronology, maybe thinking like, okay, well, if I can just reset the clock on the stupid castle,
that's right,
we'll be fine.
No problem.
One of my relationships, I can pick the wizard I correspond with, and maybe like I was the one writing to the wizards college, and then like I didn't think they'd come here though. It's just like, no. Like, it was like an intellectual discussion that we were not supposed to continue in the field.
Hypothetically,
yeah. And
if
then
Spooky Orchard were under a sleeping curse.
God. Terrible at reading tone. And then the other one is the long dead ancestor whose notes I study. And I thought maybe that could also be good, kind of a sideways relationship to go with the medium. Like, oh, I need your help to, what does this mean? Like, can you channel them, kind of thing.
Well, that seems that then I should go into my character. So named Chamomile, aka Millie. I put her traits as calm and insightful. It's probably just her being sleepy though. Eyes I put as sleepy, tired looking always. Her hands I put as scarred, thinking maybe, falling asleep all the time. She has lots of accidents that might have scarred her hands. Style, flowing robes, very comfortable to sleep in, and has a dark veil to keep the sunlight out. And then I put her broom as possessed. So
You're not doing great on brooms, folks.
Thought that was quite fun. How do my patrons pay me? They do chores for me. So I have a chore chart for them. It's on an honor system. So, and then how do I communicate with spirits? I fall asleep, and then they speak to me in my dreams. And then for relationships, I put one as the villager who asks me to protect the same spirit every goddamn week. So I thought that was fun. I'm not sure what to pick for my second one, though, because none of them are really, like, immediately jumping out at me. So the other ones are the spirits who do my bidding for a price. That doesn't really seem like my character. The ghost of my former lover, the ghost of my mentor, and the religious nut who insists I'm a danger to the village.
If you want, the ghost of your former mentor, could it just be, like, the crone that we lost? Like, the idea of that. She's still kind of around, like, maybe she hasn't really gotten the hang of being a ghost yet, so she can't actually talk to us, but she keeps popping up in places, and we're like, this must mean something. And no, it doesn't. She's just, like, trying to, like, pull herself out of the astral plane long enough to talk to us, but she keeps, like, getting it wrong or something like that.
That is very fun. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that then.
Yeah, my only other inclination is the religious nut who insists you're a danger to the village. I think that's just funny. But I like that because also I think it then naturally makes you my mentor. Because I need you to talk to my actual mentor to figure out what I was supposed to do. Because I've inherited the hut, I think, and I don't know what to do.
Oh, it disappeared on. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then... Where did it go? And then I'm supposed to ask, what do you want me to do? And then, why do you think I'm a fraud? And what spirit do you need to contact? Which, I guess, I could be asking that to the apprentice there.
I'm kind of stuck here because I've got, why do you want to be a witch? And I've selected one answer, which is magic is the only thing I'm good at. But my text is then, and I'm not very good at it. But like, there's a real like kind of tragedy, and I promised someone I'd do it. And one of my relationship choices is the friend I'm trying to protect or whatever. And I think that idea of like, actually, I think I do have an angle on it. I was like, I don't have a complete angle on it. But again, if the idea that young girls pricking their fingers, for instance, is like the bill we're expecting to come due here, the idea that my friend, another young girl, is someone who I won't let that happen to. Like, the idea that, like, no wizards or wizards are turning you into cats. No one's leading you up to this castle. Because yeah, and then it's like, because the other thing was like the aging parent who wants me to stay home, but I just don't. That's a perfectly fine story. I could play it perfectly well, but I think I kind of prefer this angle package overall. So actually, let me change this to. I promised someone I'd do it. I'll leave the descriptive text of it. I'm not very good at it. I don't see any reason to change that. I come from a long line of apple carters. So I'm actually Junie Applecart. Sorry, Apple Cartier.
You're the fancy one.
Someone's putting on airs, yeah.
And so, yeah, so to complete, I've my second trait will be passionate. So I am passionate and reckless with all the vim of youth. I am gawky and plain. I live for hand-me-downs and hearts and flowers, which you can blame on any of my elder sisters, though secretly I love it. And I had to buy a new broom, even though now I could probably use my mentor's broom, but I won't because it's in a spot of reference over the mantle. And why do I want to be a witch? I promised someone I'd do it, which again is my friend who will not let me one of these maidens sacrificed to this foolery. I come from laborers who are apple carters, and my relationships are the friend I'm trying to protect and my inappropriate crush to be named later. But certainly it's just some boy who's not worth the time.
He's got 3 hairs of a mustache and somehow...
Yeah. Some stallmucker who just does it for me. I don't know. He just... I'm the only...
Yeah, have you seen
Be one of the wizards.
Oh, no.
The Wizard Apprentice?
An inappropriate crush, for sure. And yeah, a Wizard's Apprentice even better, just because, again, let's keep it age appropriate here. But good lord, that's dumb and I hate it. And yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I know.
Maybe he's part of the problem that you're trying to prevent also.
Yes.
They're sending him out to try and lure girls to fix this problem.
I know Cece has, but has anyone else seen Turning Red?
I've seen
yes,
it.
yes.
The convenience store boy. Just like, he's not even that cute. Immediately obsessed.
Yeah. No, very much. Very much. Misspent crush. Even most of those boy band boys. All right, so he speaks French. You know what? So does all of France. And the majority of Africa. You can do better. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, we have to start doing the relationships. So okay. So sorry, the apprentice is technically an apprentice to the medium, but only because the crone died. Okay.
I can technically contact her sometimes when I fall asleep and she enters my dreams.
Even I do love the setup, Liz, of just kind of like, but she's just figuring it out ghost style in the subway of just kind of like, boo, I can say one word, I can manipulate one thing, and we're like, it means something, and it doesn't. It means that she's just learned how to do that.
She's like, test, bonk, 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 and it's like, these taps must mean something. It's like, no, she's like testing a mic.
She's testing me, her apprentice. Yes, I am here, mentor.
It must be Morse code.
Spilling tea leaves, and you're like, it's a sign. I'm trying to figure out how to materialize.
Like she knocks over the teacup, spills out all leaves, and she's trying to like spell out a word, and we're like, oh my god, this is amazing, and we run out, and the word's like half done.
Wind sweeps them off. Poor Connor is just kind of like, fuck.
Okay. Specific than the lores. Which one are the lores? Okay, we did that. Okay, so yeah, we've gone through everyone's basics. So let me just hold on a second. Oh, lore. Okay, I see. So everyone has a lore. So for the apprentice, it's when you ask me to do something I've never done, gain a token. Medium is when you ask me to send a message to another plane. of existence, gain a token. The creature is when you make use of inhuman talents, gain a token. And the researcher is when you ask me for hard to find information, earn a token. When you ask me... So it's the person asking gets the token. So it's encouraging roleplay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we each have to ask the person on our left. So if we're doing this up here. So I'm on Cece's left. Marty is on Liz's left. So then I would be on Liz's left, and Marty would be on Cece's left. Did that work? No, wait.
No, because you're on Cece's left.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. It's Cece to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Or like some kind of notebook that you could lose later.
I'm getting better about it. I do have notebooks now.
It's a GM-less system.
CC to me to Liz to Marty to CC. I think that, and that's the what do you want me to do? But I feel like that's almost like starting into the session, which at this point I don't think we're going to have time for.
But we can. Let's finish the process.
Oh no,
we'll set it up. I would play this again.
Yeah. We're totally finishing. But I'm just saying, is that the question you want to save till the very end, kind of thing? Like, does that lead into, like, CC being like, I need you to do this, and I'll be like, okay, I need you X to do, That's what I'm positing. Not that we don't do it. We should.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So should we pick our world things first then, and then come back to this? Is that what you're posing?
Oh. Is that what I'm posing? What do I know?
As not the DM.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that. So okay. So the last part is the world. So as alluded to before, or no, this was pre-stream. So the game is GM-less, but as Cece sort of more succinctly put, it's more like everyone is part-time GM. So parts of the world are controlled by the other players, all of the players. So the parts of the world that you might control are the elements, flora and fauna, the other world, outsiders, the spirits, and the villagers. And the game suggests, well, if you're the medium, don't control the spirits, because then you're just talking to each other. If you're the charmer, don't control the villagers, because then you're just talking to each other. So, did any of these jump out to folks right away?
If we're calling dibs, I would like to maybe be the spirits.
Okay.
Because I just want to send you guys the weirdest, dumbest, and silliest cryptid messages. You'll never understand it, because I don't understand it myself.
I look forward to it. Awesome. Liz, I believe in you. You were born for this.
I look forward to dreaming about them.
Yeah. Liz, at the risk of paying you a compliment, I think you fully will be able to embody both the meaningless things that dead people would still want. Like, I think, like, just kind of the idea of just kind of, like, really miss crackers. Or like, I've having watched you and been a fan of yours for a while now, I think you're gonna crush that just fine.
Okay, perfect.
I'll dibs it.
So Liz's spirits. Cece or Marty?
Oh.
I almost want to nominate you, Andy.
Ooh. Nominate him for what?
For the village.
That's what I was thinking.
You have you're every idiot boy, you're every, like, aspirational girl, like, you're every, like, Carter who just has far sight on things beyond their control. You just do such a good job of creating simple dum-dums on the fly. So I think you'd really crush that. But I don't want to put that on you. I'd gladly do it myself. I certainly...
Well, I think, if I may turn this around then on you, as soon as I saw that fairies were in the other world, I was just like, Marty does alien horrible fae very well. So
they do not want the things you want. They're not predictable.
To quote, hold on, let me find the best quote ever about fairies from Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, dryads are mimicking secondary sexual characteristics. They don't need them. That's frightening. Move away from them. They're doing that to trick you.
Elves are wonderful. They provoke wonder. Elves are marvelous. They cause marvels. Elves are fantastic. They create fantasies. Elves are glamorous. They project glamour. Elves are enchanting. They weave enchantment. Elves are terrific. They begat terror. Yeah. The thing about words is that meanings can twist just like a snake. And if you want to find snakes, look for them behind words that have changed their meaning. No one ever said elves are nice.
No, they're the fucking worst. Yeah, because short of otherwise being like, if you don't want villagers, I'll take it. I will gladly be your absolute trash fae. No contest. No, needs mortal blood, cruel entertainment, superficial beauty. My job's done for me. I'm fine.
Right. Like, no, I was reading through that and I was just like, yeah, this is... Yep.
Well armed.
Although I do like... Well, and the other one is pick two beings that live in the outer world. The Fae. And I was like, well, there's that one. And then also alternate versions of us. And like me, I know you love a Hellions.
Love a Hellion. Big fan of a Hellion. They are instant player motivation. If your players are only kind of half in, just give them a rival group that came in and stole their credit, and suddenly you've got instant role players.
John Bladeholder? Who the fuck is this?
Hey, Cannonball, you know how your thing is flying in one direction? There's a rich Indian prince who does it better than you.
His name's Jetstream.
He might have been a Saudi. What was Jetstream's nationality? We don't need to wait for me to find this answer, but I'm curious now.
Okay. Cece, would you like to call dibs on one of them? I do not have to be villagers, but I will gladly take, because I was even like, well, maybe I shouldn't be villagers. I kind of do that most weeks, but I am happy to do it because stupid little, or like small town folks are just my absolute favorite D&D NPCs to be. Just their petty rivalries and...
I do think that, like, as soon as I read villagers, I was like, well, that's probably going to be Andy.
And I'll do it. I'm not saying I won't, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess Outsiders is probably the one that fits the best.
You know that makes you all the wizards, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to need an all the wizards person, and Cece, if you're a bad enough dude to save the president, I believe in you here.
I'm a rad bad dude that's going to save this village, I guess.
Kind of like, I just noticed you can also pick two travelers from faraway lands. I love the freelance journalist, the disgraced academic. There's actually some really good setups here.
Mm-hmm. There's a prize fighter, a detective. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Zenobia Blades, immediately hilarious. Love this.
Or a traveling salesman. Like, I even like that it could just be like, I've got encyclopedias. Like, we don't need your encyclopedias. Absolutely
we do not need.
I kind of like the idea of like maybe a traveling salesman tagged himself onto this group of shit wizards that like is just trying to sell stuff with them. Like, oh, they've got a good reputation. Maybe that'll add to my sales pitch.
Set up a booth. He's trying to sell sham wows.
And because I know you all could not rest, Jetstream is Moroccan. So
okay.
Rest easy.
Finally.
Rest easy. He's a wealthy Moroccan who flies better than any mine hick from Appalachia.
Okay.
All right. So is that so?
That sounds good to me. I'll be the villagers if CC. You want to be the outsiders.
My name's already on it.
Okay.
So
that
was easy.
I'm the villagers. Liz is the spirits. God, that's going to be so good. CC is the outsiders, and Marty is the horrible fae who may be coming to claim their castle of people that they put to sleep 500 years ago.
You better find a 16-year-old girl real quick. That's all I'm saying.
Humans have those, right? Just in abundance. Let's see.
That cat's wearing a human face. You guys see that, right? You guys not know that? Don't want to ruin the ending for you.
Let's see. The villagers need... What do they need? Peace and isolation from these goddamn wizards. I think that might be it. Peace. Or maybe not peace, but isolation for sure. Like, we were happier before.
Mm-hmm.
People started paying attention to us. But maybe the wizards are exciting, and there is some sort of... Well, now everything's exciting. There's excitement because it's razzle dazzle. They cast pyrotechnics. It's just like, that's a waste of magic.
Follow like the Discworld books. It's like people, like especially people who have been isolated for a while, get very excited about something new happening, and then like all the witches are just like side eyeing it because it's like, well, I don't know about this. Like when, what was it, I think it was Moving Pictures, where they go to the play and they just basically razz it.
Yeah, I
think...
make
the actors cry.
Which one is... Yeah, it's... that might be Weird Sisters, because it's mixed...
Sisters.
It's all...
It's claimed in the play.
Yeah, so it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
But yeah, where they're like, well, he did it. He murdered them. It's just like, no, it's a play. Like... But I saw him do it. It's just like, that's not...
Completely blowing past the point of Hamlet.
It's just like that. It's like, oh, here's something new in town. Everyone's getting really excited and new, and all witches are, side-eyeing it. And then, like, people are starting to realize, like, wait, our little town's changing. And then, uh-oh, wait, are the Fae coming back? Because that's not a good time.
So I put for the needs of the outsiders to fulfill the prophecy, which is, to save the sleeping people or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that for their other needs, I put recruits, but I want to make sure that recruits is in very heavy quotes.
Sure.
Recruits.
Yes.
Pick 2 villagers with opinions about witches. I'm going to do Larvinia Fry, horse trainer, because I'm kind of thinking she's like a horse girl who wanted to be a witch's apprentice, and Marty's character is just like, but I'm like, they got the slot, basically, so now they have opinions.
Fantastic.
And shop guy, I think the shop... Oh, bartender. I think it's the bartender. Just a nosy bartender.
It's a small town bartender. Knows everyone's business.
Oh yeah, that's like the town psychologist right there.
Yeah.
Everyone's business. Yeah, and maybe it just says with opinions about the witches, with strong opinions. They might be pro. Like, they don't have to be read as
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, I'm tired of hearing about your problems. You know, we have witches to solve them for us. Like,
Yeah.
you dum-dums.
Yeah, the blacksmith keeps this town in horseshoes, you idiots.
That's why we got witches. We have an abundance of witches. Okay.
See, the other world needs one cruel entertainments for sure. I'm vacillating on the first one, but I kind of like Superficial Beauty because I kind of feel like Sleeping Beauty, that's how this goes, right? Like, it's always just kind of like some untouched maiden child that needs to be of a certain... So I kind of think these two go hand in hand, where they're like, yeah, you need a beautiful princess of 16 years of age. And then the cruel entertainment part is like, no, not that one. No, not that one either. It's a constant moving the goalpost.
Yeah, it's a horrible guessing game. It's their version of Wordle. Like, yeah. You're closer.
You have one right, but not in the right place.
Damn it!
She's glowing yellow.
It's just like, do you think it's maybe like hair color? Like, what do we get? What do we get right?
Is it blondes? Does she like blondes? So the Fae, and I am leaving my second option open for now, but I do love alternate versions of us, so don't be surprised if they show up. Talking animals are idiotic and fun.
Yeah, trolls and goblins are fun too. Like
classics.
Aliens are also funny. Of just like an alien show up, like what?
And aliens, yeah.
And Fae and aliens can, you know, go hand in hand. It's modern aliens are just our fairies, basically.
Yeah, they're abduction stories and replacement stories and all that. Yes. Very good, Andy. Thank you for being up on your spooky bullshit.
I love spooky bullshit.
Yeah. Also, if you've never read the Mothman Prophecies, it's terrifying. The book is the movie is a fictionalized account of a dude who wrote a book. Don't worry about it. But anyway, check it out. Or don't. You don't have to do that. I'm not your dad.
My line.
Okay, I see.
Just reading Liz's The Screaming Apparition at the Crossroads. It's the old mentor crone. And the ghost dog who still tries to herd livestock. Adorable.
That's great.
I would either use them as like, yeah, or it's like, oh, is that what Camille dreams about? Is like there's some lady off in the distance screaming at her. It's like, wow, this is such a powerful dream. It's like, it's your mentor. So he's like screaming the plot at her.
Go to the Standing Stones.
She's trying to tell me something.
But also the ghost dog, I just love like the idea that like, oh, the ghost dog trying to hurt. That's a metaphor. And it's like, no, it's the dog has unfinished business. He didn't finish hurting.
It's just caught in a tautology.
No, that's awesome.
And the Crossroad would be where she probably appears the easiest. But we don't go to the Crossroads very often.
Oh, because there's nobody to go. Everything's foggy. You can't see.
That's right. Keep losing these apple carts.
Wait, which Crossroads? Apple Cart or 2 Apple Cart Crossroads? Oh yeah, she's at 2 Apple Carts. We don't go that way very often.
No. It's too close to the castle.
Yeah, she's at like the courtyard of the castle, and we're just like, well, we avoid the castle. It's like, fuck. Okay. I think that's all that. So let's go back to our relationships. So we have to, let's start with Cece. Oh, wait, no. That means you have to ask me a question. Fuck. I mean, yay. I hate going
Wait,
first.
who are we starting with? You cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry. Did I? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Cece, who has to ask me a question.
Oh, no.
But where the heck? Where are we going? Here we go. You are the medium.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ask me, what do you want me to do? And you ask either Liz or Marty one of the other two questions.
Okay. So yeah, I'll ask you, Andy, what do you want me to do?
Well, I don't want to steal, I don't want to do the obvious one, which is contact the crone. Because I feel like that's also Marty's thing. So maybe it would be try and... Because let's see. Dealing with spirits.
I've also got... I did have a thought of, maybe people think that there's some kind of correlation between my narcolepsy and the sleeping curse that's going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. How did we not make that connection before now? You are literally living between worlds in this thing. That's ridiculously...
So maybe that could be, something that you're researching?
Okay, yeah. So maybe I need you to contact, the king or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe you need to do, sleep studies on me or something.
Okay, I like that. I need you to fall asleep. I need to take some notes.
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
Let me write it down in the thing that's actually useful. I want... And your character's name is Millie. Sorry. What the heck did I just type in?
And these other two questions, I almost want to treat like Powered by the Apocalypse style. Be like one for each of the other people.
I'm open to it.
Because I do feel like, I could easily ask Marty's character, what spirit do you need to contact? Which would probably be the crone.
Yes, please.
And I'm not quite sure if the other question fits. So Liz, feel free to turn it down because I've already gotten, my one other question needed answered. But if you think that Mitzi would have an answer for why do you think I'm a fraud, then I think that would be an interesting question to throw to Mitzi, our cat girl.
I don't know if Mitzi would have opinions on whether ghosts are frauds or not. Is it going to turn out that Mitzi can actually just see ghosts? She's that's the thing she keeps staring at, and she's figured everything out. She just doesn't realize how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, that's amazing. The idea that she's just not catching that no one else can see these ghosts except for this one when she sleeps. But you're also a fan of naps, so you've got that in common.
I know. Yeah. Though when Mitzi sleeps, she just dreams about catching mice, so I don't know what you're talking about, lady.
I like it.
Okay. So I guess it would make sense then for me to go. So I'm going to ask Liz, what do you want me to do?
I mean, you're probably the most versed in magic. I think Mitzi would want you to turn her back into a cat, like a proper cat.
Okay.
Or at least try to do it one way or the other?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and works well. Like, yeah, that's something I could certainly research. Oh. Oh yeah, there we go.
Froze for a sec.
Sorry, yeah, you froze on our end. So, but yeah, no, I was just saying, yeah, like totally something I could research, even if I'm not like, oh yeah, obviously it's this spell, the stupid wizards, but have that research, and then that's also a good like, if we do more than one session of just like, it's kind of in the background of like, okay, well, we got to figure out how to get you back to being a cat. Okay, perfect. And then Cece, why do you hope my experiments fail?
Oh. Well, which experiments?
I'm experimenting on you. Like, I'm doing magiconology stuff.
I feel like the sleep experience, this like sleeping spell experiments, I would hope would fail because it's like, well, first of all, then you're blowing up my steez. Like, second of all, we've got a good thing going with this sleeping curse thing. We don't want the castle to wake up. But also maybe I don't want your experiments on Mitzi to work out because it's like she's fine the way she is. Like,
okay.
So I guess broad spectrum answer is everything's fine the way it is. Stop trying to fix everything.
Oh, is that white? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, it's white.
So let me see if I can change that color.
You can change it. Yeah. You have to click on the A, which was not immediately apparent. That's the text color.
Yeah, sorry, because I was typing it and I just couldn't see it before, but then I noticed Liz. I could see Liz is better because I don't know why, but I could. So then I realized it's white. So I just fixed it. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I think that means it's Liz's turn.
So who am I asking?
You're asking Marty what you want. What do you want Marty's character to do? And then you can ask Cece or myself one of the other two questions.
So what do you want me to do?
Two just very stupid answers for this.
I did ask a stupid question.
Yeah, it's true, but that's by design. Yeah, like, but just looking back over it, I think there's a very teenage girl answer of just like, I want Mitzi to wear more clothes, please. It's very distracting. It's very distracting.
Nothing's hanging out.
And lessening my chances with this boy I like. But no, but like my other dumb answer is like, I'd like you to stop scratching up my furniture or something. No, like either one is pretty much like, I'd like you to, when I put a glass on a table, leave it. Like,
I make no promises.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of like the silver bullet answer to like, I want you to stop being a cat lady. None of which you can fulfill. So yeah, is it better designed if it's something you can actually do? I think probably. Yeah. I want Mitzi to be the chosen one. It has all of the Batman just wants no more parents to die, so he karates the mentally ill until they stop. Kind of childhood aspiration of like, but if you're the chosen one, that means my friend can't be, for instance, or whatever. So like, there's a kind of like, it's not so much that I want you to perform this action as I think she secretly wants you to check this box. Like she wants you to solve this problem. If that makes sense. Kind of a little bit of an abstraction of it, but I think that's... Does that make sense? Is that all right?
I can see that. And honestly, if we do get to like an end game scenario, throwing Mitzi at a bunch of Fae and seeing what happens would probably be...
Oh, it's Schrodinger's Grebo. It's the cat can be alive or dead, but it's bloody pissed off.
It turns out the Duke was actually allergic to cats the whole time. So when Mitzi goes to like try to wake him up, she just sleeps on his face and like suffocates him.
Well,
so how about instead of the chosen one, we'll use a slight synonym. I want Mitzi to be the solution. Okay, so I have two questions, and I think one of them should.
Doesn't Leaves have one more question? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
yes.
You have to. I have to pick a question.
Yes.
So I will. I guess yeah. Then I would ask. Who is it? Junie.
Mm-hmm.
If. Because the question is, do you see me as a person? Like, does Junie see Mitzi as a person then?
Yes. Yes, I think she does because she's too young to understand. Like, and obviously she's not like a complete babe in the woods. But yes, I always like characters who take, if you speak, and are capable of looking me in the eye, then you're a deserving of personhood. Whether it's, I don't think she'd understand the question enough, so she would just say, yeah. So the answer is yes. Even when you're a cat, probably the answer is going to be yes, because she is a teenage girl. So there's a certain amount of...
Okay.
I think that's my questions. So.
Okay. So, Marty, so you're asking Cece the first question, and then whatever you want for the second question.
Okay. I mean, and we've already kind of got what spirit I want to contact, but I think I want Millie to be my mentor. Is that too dumb of an answer? Like, I think
you're asking me what I want you to do.
Oh, okay, then do that. This is very confusingly, but I am on board. That is what everybody else has asked. I should also do that. So what do you want me to do? Sorry, yes. That is what it is. I mean, to be a better question answerer, I get you.
So for Junie, I think that the answer would kind of be, I want you to like essentially like be your own witch, like be your own mentor. Like you don't have, like you're good, like you don't need to rely on, like somebody to be your mentor.
I don't understand and I won't, but yes. No, I like that, especially because I kind of like there's a sub tweet in there of just like, I did not ask to be your mentor. It's not my fault. I can talk to the dead. Like, I did not want an apprentice. You just keep showing up. That broom's too new.
Listen, I fall asleep far too much to be your mentor.
Very traumatizing, because in the middle of a lesson, the crone said, "Oh, that's not good," and passed away. So I'm never sure when you're dying.
Or just sleeping.
Just sleeping.
You need a card that says, "I ain't dead."
That's right.
You keep a mirror on you at all times, hold up to my knees.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Good. It's good. We're good. I'm adding that to my notes.
Okay. And then your last question, Marty, which it does say you ask your mentor. So.
Yeah, I think specifically I asked
Yes.
my mentor. Mine's a little more directed. Well, and since you're what you want, although I guess that's not necessarily voiced, right? But even still, I think it would undo your what you want if I asked you, why do you think I'll never make it as a witch? And I'll give you a real thinker, Cece. I like this one, but it's going to take some mental gymnastics on your part. How do I, Junie, remind you of your past?
Oh.
Right? That's a good question anyway.
That is a good question.
It's a good character prompt.
Ooh. I almost want to say, like, can I think on it a little bit?
I mean, I'm content with that. Since we're not going to finish up, but that's such a good question.
Yeah, because I don't want to half-ass an answer because we're past our time. So
yeah.
I do want to kind of think on that one a little bit, because that is a really good question.
So I'm going to leave that populated on the sheet. How do I remind you of your past? And I would say not all these questions are created equal, Bethany, because that one's like a real, like, oh shit, like I have to get real for a minute.
Yeah.
What spirit do you need me to contact? That's easy. No, this is so ingenious. And even hearing about it, I was like, oh, that feels very clever. But playing it, this is almost like Fiasco, where I feel like the character setup is like half the fun.
Yeah,
like,
this is like... Exactly. Like, I could just do this.
Yeah.
We could start over next time, and I'd be like, this is just as fun. But no, earlier today, I was thinking Fiasco, for sure. It definitely has Fiasco vibes.
Yeah.
And there's it says it's based on another game, so now I'm going to have to go look up that game and then see what other games are like this. Like, No Dice, No Masters game system by Avery Alder.
Yeah, but it was like... Belong in the no belong.
Yeah, it's
it's the ribbon.
Belonging outside belonging. Crusher. Yeah.
Yes. With a lovely bit of prose about how witches don't belong.
Yes.
Like, what an absolute killer of a follow up to that. Yeah, gosh, a lot of power packed into 38 pages, by the way.
For sure. And I will have a link in the doobly-doo if you would like to support the game and go purchase it for yourself. But with that, we will wrap up this evening and be back to either play this or start over, because it's just fun.
We did promise some Sabrina era more modern version too,
and just thinking about that, like, of just how much does it change if you're just like, it's modern day.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, I feel like it's just, the whole world changes. Like instead of, like, flora and fauna, you could, like, interpret that as, like, you know, like cars and buildings kind of thing. Like that as your landscape, an urban landscape versus a rural one. But let's do outros and plugs. Cece.
Oh, I thought I had strategically placed myself in last place.
No, you're right to my right. I'm gonna go boop boop boop.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cece, aka Soupska. I mess up my own thing. I'm Cece, aka Soup, aka Soupsica. There we go. I got thrown off by placing myself first. All right. I would like to plug playing games with your friends because it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it's always fun to try something new, try something different. And I had a lot of fun doing that with you guys. And I'd also like to plug showing appreciation for people because you never know when somebody needs good old thank you for something. So,
lovely. Liz.
I'm Liz. You can follow me on the social medias if you want. I don't know why you would. I don't really post much, but you can do that. It's up to you. I will plug, but you know who you should follow on the Twitters and all things. The person who wrote this book, who's been tweeting us all this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bethany Harvey.
Harvey. They look like a nice person, so go follow them.
And it looks like it's just at Bethany Harvey.
Correct.
VEY. Yeah. So, very good.
Yes. Marty.
Oh, I'm usually last. Oh, no, I'm not, because you usually go after me.
Yes.
That makes sense. I've been on this stream once or twice. Cast a spell to like and subscribe. Summon your familiar, the bell, by dinging the bell. That summons your familiar, which is alerts when we post videos or something. I'm very unclear on the bell. Bell, book, and candle. There's a spiritual reference. It's a Catholic one, but we'll take it. Just subscribe. Like the video, please. Thank you very much. If you see my dead mentor, ask them what they're screaming about.
At the Crossroads.
At the Crossroads. Gonna be the one, 2 apple cards.
Right.
That's right.
Wasting your time.
Apple Cart Junction.
That's right. And yeah, this is a lovely little game. You can discover all kinds of like one sheets and pretty small prep ready to play. Where again, it's truly inspired and very very unique. I like the game design of it. Only sad we didn't get to play because I'm very curious now about how the play actually works. But yeah, we might need to revisit this just for that.
For sure, definitely. I will echo what everyone said. Be safe, be kind. Thank you, players. For showing up every week. It is greatly appreciated. And play games with your friends. Be kind to each other. This week, what's today? Today is Monday. Star Chasers is on Wednesday. I don't know if I've said this on stream yet, but we're getting close to an end for Star Chasers, and we'll see if it is the end or the end for now, and then a new beginning later. We'll talk about it. But Krona the Berserker just showed up because I don't want to get sued by the Howard estate.
Or the Pratchett estate, because we can't do Cohen either.
Right, yes.
Already taken.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And then next week is Gracefall. Like and subscribe, won't you? Have a good night, everybody.